What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you being here, spending a little bit of time with me on this lovely Friday evening here in Texas. It's beautiful. Beautiful May 1st, huh? It's a good sign. I wanted to tell you a love story tonight, but this is going to be a tricky story. So I want to tell you this story, and I want to know, let me know in the comments below, how is this a love story? Where is love in this story? Okay? Once upon a time, there was a farmer. And our farmer, he lived in Texas. He'd been a farmer his whole life. Came from a long line of farmers, as a matter of fact. And over the course of his lifetime, he's grown a lot of plants. Everything from tobacco to palm trees. He's grown a lot of things over the course of his life. He's experienced with the world of plants. Now, our farmer lives on his farm with his wife and 2 children. And once a week, the farmer goes to town to pick up supplies he might need at the farm. And he makes sure to pick up 7 jars of olives. Good old Italian olives, because our farmer is olive obsessed. He loves olives. To him, they're considered a delicacy. And every evening, our farmer sits on his back patio and watches the children play in the yard while he eats his olives. This is sort of a ritual for him. One particular evening, while our farmer was sitting on his patio, eating his olives, watching the children play in the yard, a particular plot of land in his backyard jumped out at him and really grabbed his attention, right? Almost became highlighted in front of him. And simultaneously, he had a thought. And that thought was, maybe one day I will plant an olive tree right there. And this thought disappeared. But the next evening, it happened again. He had the same thought. He started thinking about it. Maybe one day I'll plant an olive tree here in my yard, since I love olives so much. Right? This thought gradually becomes like planted in our farmer's mind. It becomes an obsession. He starts to really entertain the thought. He sits on his back patio day after day, and he can almost reach out and touch this olive tree in his mind mentally. He can almost smell the olive oil, right? And feel the olives. He's imagining days of picking olives with his children and making olive oil himself. In a way, he's idealizing this idea of an olive tree, this obsession. And so he starts to think about it seriously. He's like, maybe I could grow an olive tree, you know? He's like, but I know that olive trees are native to Italy. He said, I wonder what it is about Italy that allows for these olive trees to grow so beautifully, so deliciously, right? And so he begins to think about it. He begins to do a little bit of research, right? And he discovers that olive trees don't naturally grow in Texas because Texas has sometimes harsh winters that can freeze and kill olive trees. And in Italy, it's more of a mild, rainy winter, right? So our farmer begins to think to himself, he says, well, I know a little bit about plants. I know how to keep frost off of my plants. So actually, it's possible that I grow an olive tree right here in my backyard. It's possible that this can become real. And in a way, he's realizing his idea. He's realizing its potential, right? He's realizing that it's actually a possibility for him that he could potentially grow an olive tree right here in his backyard if he wanted to, and he wanted to. And so he began to engage actively in this process, right? He planted the seed and he took care of it, right? Made sure it got the ideal amount of sunlight and water, and he was able to control the temperature and keep away the frost. And before you know it, our farmer was growing olives in his backyard that were just as delicious as the olives growing in their native land of Italy, right? And he loved this so much, he started his own olive farm right here in Texas. And it was a beautiful thing. It was what our farmer lived for, after all. This is how he felt when he stood back and admired his masterpiece of an olive farm and felt this gratitude. He just knew this is what he was put on the earth to do, even more so than being a father, even more so than being a husband. He was a farmer. Until next time, I hope you continue to free your